Welcome. I often get asked, how did I know when it isn't my imagination, or when it stopped being my imagination, or when did I understand the difference between me forcing a message to come through or projecting an idea from my subconscious to my conscious mind? How and when did I figure out that it really was a message from spirit, or from someone who's crossed over, or from another dimensional, any of those experiences? How do I know when it's truly a psychic event and not just me sort of figuring things out from the clues around me? And I bring it down to a couple things, and I offer these to you in case it helps you trust yourself a little more. When the message you're getting is absolutely out of context, there is no reason for this to have just popped into your consciousness or your awareness, however that comes in. When there's no reason for it, it just comes in. And you have that feeling inside like, oh wow, that's big. There's really something there, and it's meaningful, and it's true. That's a good indication that it is a message from a higher source of wisdom. When the message comes in such a way that you never imagined, that you never would have thought of, whatever the scenario is, whatever the message is, when it's completely surprising to you, when you know that it's not something that your even subconscious mind would have come up with, that's another good indication that, oh yeah, this isn't from me, this is from someplace else, because I never would have thought of that solution, or that thought never would have occurred to me. That is, I asked for a message, and this really strange, out of my world idea came, but I love it, it's going to work. So that's another good way to know that it is truly a message from somewhere else. And then the third thing I'd offer today is that there are times when it really makes no sense. It's completely out of possibility even. So for instance, I once spoke with a young man who was driving in his car, and it would happen quite often. He would suddenly smell a flower, a scent from a flower that his grandmother loved. It was sort of, she had a perfume around it, and she loved to have it around her house and home. And he's driving in the car with the windows up. And he's looking out the windows to see if something's on the road, and there's nothing there. That flower isn't growing on the side of the road. And so he knew that it was his grandmother coming in to reassure him. So whatever it was that was on his mind or in his heart, she was there for him. So those moments when, for instance, your windows are closed and yet you get a scent that reminds you of a person. When something appears completely out of the blue that really just doesn't even belong there, that might be an indication that it's real and that it's a message from somewhere else. Now, the truth is, with all of these, in the beginning, you're going to doubt yourself. You're going to doubt yourself. You don't trust yet that you are intuitive or that you are psychic. I remember when I was first having multiple psychic events, psychic phenomena, and I would sort of know what someone was thinking or know what they were feeling. And before I was even near them, I just knew what was going on. I knew where to go look for something if I needed something. All of a sudden, this just happened yesterday, in fact. I needed a certain wire, and I got up and I was frustrated, so I got up and I walked away from the problem. And I walked into another room, and I opened a cabinet that I don't ever open, just to see what was inside it, because I'm trying to distract my brain from this problem I had. And sure enough, in there were 4 boxes of brand new wires, and one of them was what I needed. So that was just like, somehow a part of me knew that the answer to my problem was there. It was in this unopened cabinet, or this very rarely opened cabinet. And if I just went and, out of curiosity, looked, there it was. That I truly know was a psychic event, because I needed something and it came to me. But back to, so in the beginning, when those things would happen, I would doubt it. I'd say, oh, isn't that a great coincidence? Even though I know there are no coincidences. But I'd think, oh, this is pretty cool the way, spirit answers when I need something. And then I started to figure out that they're happening more and more. Like, I know the outcome of things, mostly around people. I know what's going on and how they're reacting, even though they're miles and miles away. I have a knowing. And later when I talk to them, it is exactly the way I see it or feel it or know it. So the more it happens, the more comfortable I get with it. And the more now I am just willing to say, yeah, I'm psychic. That I know what's going on. I know what's happening through time and space. So the other thing that really got me comfortable with my ability to read the messages and to channel from other beings is practice. It's like any muscle. If you practice your intuition, if you practice opening and allowing messages to come into you, you will get better at it. You will get more confident, certainly, but you will also get better at it. They'll start to come quicker. Repetition is a big part of this. The more you do something, the more automatic it becomes. And the more experiences you have to discern, no, I'm making this up. I really want this to happen, so I'm forcing it, I'm pushing it. This is from me, or this is not from me. This is from somewhere else. Because you've done it so many times, you know when it's legitimate. You start to recognize, okay, this is from somewhere else. This is wisdom. I need to listen to this because it's happened so many times. So practice, repetition, and then I always bring it back into my body. I bring it into my physical awareness. I anchor it into this three-dimensional world. So for me, that looks like deep listening and listening to what's coming in from the outside, but also deep listening to how I am receiving it, how my body is receiving the information. So your body knows what's true and what isn't true. So when you're receiving messages, just get really quiet and still and listen deeply. Listen to the messages as they're coming, but also to how your body's receiving it and where it is in you and how that feels. So some of us really feel intuition in our gut, in our solar plexus. Some of us feel it in our third eye, and maybe your third eye starts to tingle, or it's just sort of like a laser beam coming in right there. Some of us feel it from our crown chakra, our higher consciousness. Many of us get signals from our body that we might dismiss, the chills. I hear so many times people say, ooh, I just got the chills, that must be right. Or I got goosebumps, it's your body telling you, listen to this. This is truth from a greater wisdom. So, I don't know, I hope that helped clarify some of your uncertainties around your intuition and when it's real and when it's not, when it's your imagination, how you know it is, and how to get more comfortable with knowing that these are real messages and they're coming from an outside source. They're not coming from your subconscious or within you. You're not making them up. So forgive the lighting this morning. It's just morning and it's sort of misty and foggy and the sun is coming right through, right on me, but I just love it. And there's a little winged one flying around. I love the sun coming on me, so I hope that helps. I know this one is a little long, but it's been nice to spend this part of my morning with you, whatever time of day it is that you're watching this. Have a beautiful day.